Folks, what is going on? Cameron here from Times once again. You're welcome to a brand new episode of the Friday Flows. Now, today's episode is another really interesting one. If you haven't been seeing what's going on in Times in the last while, we've released a lot of interesting stuff around AI. I think one of the main points when we released this was to make accessibility and data transformation and building of workflows within Times an even easier thing to do. So I have the infamous Michael Tolan with us once again. Michael, what's the crack? How are you?
I'm doing well, Cam. How are we keeping?
All good, man. All good.
Good, good.
So what Michael is going to go through with us today is leveraging AI within an alert workflow and also demonstrating how we would use that alongside cases. So Michael, without further ado, man, take it away. Show us what we're doing today.
Sure, will do. Should be coming through for you now.
Yep.
Yeah, so here in our very famous Time Story Library, we have a very specific section here on the left for AI and Times. We can actually see here one of our main featured stories is a previous Friday flow. Shout out to Blake and Connor for giving that one a look a few weeks back. So if you're ever interested in looking to see how AI and Times can be used outside of this specific workflow that we're looking through today, feel free to hop in, take a look, see if anything takes your fancy, import it into your tenant, and run it off. Um, Going back to what we're looking at today here, as Cam was saying, that we're going to look at a way to normalize alerts with Times AI and create cases. So if I just hop into what we have here, we can kind of see here up at the top, this is more of a like technique style of story. It's not necessarily something that you would import and run in production right off the bat, but it's something to kind of get you thinking, to kind of be a good demo of this is like the power of AI in a very useful scenario, something which you could use in your own stack. So say up here, we have these different types of alerts. Anyone who's worked in a SOC worked with a few different EDR tools. We know that, like, say, Lacework alerts, they might have this type of schema. Elastic alerts have like a very different type of schema. CrowdStrike, Guard Duty, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of different types of fields here. You might already be using tines to say, if a guard duty alert comes in, I know that I need to pick out this field, that field, and whatever field to get the host name, IP, user, and all of that bit of information. But if I have the same workflow and I also want to connect that to, like, say, Elastic or CrowdStrike, I now need to do another kind of bit of investment in time to say, oh, so if I want Elastic alerts to be parsed correctly, I now need to point it to a few different fields. And then like that workload kind of increases the more tools you have in your stack. So something that we're doing with the Times AI. Now you can also use any other AI tools that you have at your disposal, but we like just showcasing Times AI just for how easy it can be. So over here on the left, if I want to use the Times AI, I just literally drag and drop, similar how I do it for any other Times action on the storyboard here. So if I just hop into the Times AI action here, we can see a very simple prompt. Act as a cybersecurity engineer evaluating the following event. Format your output only as JSON key value pairs. That just basically means that you're going to give me an output that I'm going to be able to easily reference and interact with down the line. So depending on what the alert comes in, we want to extract the title, a description, an accuracy rating on how accurate we think the Times AI is on like evaluating the alert, the threat rating, how severe do we think it is, any recommended action and triage steps, and then a few other key fields here. So for example, I'm just going to trigger off Lacework alert here. So what this is going to do is going to use a send to story. So imagine if we have another, like, say, CrowdStrike workflow that we've imported, we can just have this send to story action, which means it will send back to this story, do something with AI to like run this action, and then send the response back so we can do any more interactions with it here. So if I hop in here. And if I see what did the Times AI come out with. So from our like garbled mess of lacework alert, just JSON key value pairs, we say that this title has come out, a description, accuracy, threat rating, recommended action, all of this, the AI just coming up on the fly. Um, and then also doing a bit of a sim markdown, which means that if we have a case created, which I'll hop to in a second, I'll actually do that now. Refresh. We can see that this case has been created and formatted immediately just using the simple Times AI action. I didn't need to worry about, oh, where do I need to pull in the event title um, or any of that extra information here. Similarly, if I go back to the story, maybe I have guard duty also connected to this story. So that has a different type of alert schema that's also going to come down in. Give the AI a second or two to parse that out. If I flick back to cases, we can see here that even though that the JSON schema has completely changed from the alert, that we're still able to easily extract all of the key data in, which means that if you're in a SOC team, that you don't need to worry about pre-formatting any of the alerts or like cases marked down, that you just need to connect it up to this one action, connect it up to your case, and away you go. So that's kind of the value add there. So that's kind of it, working at a very high level. Um, yeah, that's it pretty much.
Awesome. Thanks, Michael. So I thought that was a really interesting thing to kind of mention at the end there, like with the fact that we're able to ingest alerts from 5 different systems, all with different alert schemas. Obviously that will create, when you are ingesting those alerts, it will create a level of workload to make sense of that, but obviously extract your information and update it in the ticket in a standardized way. So this is a really cool way of looking at how AI is leveraged within the platform. Just a quick question on Tynes AI. What LLMs are we leveraging within Tynes AI at the moment? And can you give us a bit of context on that?
Sure. So if I click into the Times AI action, so very clean here. At the moment, we are just leveraging Anthropic, so AWS's Anthropic Claude 3 Haiku and then Claude 3 Sonnet. This will develop, I'd say, on the few weeks and months that come in, and more will be able to be ran within the Times AI action. The reason why we're sticking with Anthropic within the Times AI action specifically is because that Times on the cloud version that runs in AWS. So it means that we're calling to the AWS models which they have available within the platform, which means that you're not worrying about, oh, so I'm sending my data from Times to like say OpenAI or any other AI platform if like maybe your team is worried about data, like where it goes, that kind of information. But conversely, if you want to run any other, like say OpenAI actions, we also have loads of templates here. So if I type in OpenAI, drag that on, get completion in OpenAI. So if you do want to invoke any other AI tools that you have, whether it's your own internal LLM or something like that, you can still do that within Times across the board. But currently with the Times specific AI action where your data is always going to be very secured and protected, at the moment it'll be Claude 3, Haiku and Sonnet, with more on the way coming out every month or so at this rate.
Awesome. Great stuff, Michael. Thanks a million for that, man. So, folks, obviously, what you've seen here is an example of how Tynes AI is coming together with how you ingest alerts and obviously implementing Tynes cases as well. Below this video, if you're ever looking to test out the technology, what I'll do is I'll make sure that we have a link to the Tynes Community Edition where you can play around with as many stories as you would like to. And if there's anything more specific in terms of use cases or different technologies that you'd like to see implemented as a Friday Flow episode, please do comment below. And with that in mind, that's us for another episode. Michael, thanks for your time. And folks, I'll chat to you in the next one. Cheers.